If you have ever owned or enjoyed a Rolex on the wrist, you would know that there are some core aesthetical attributes that are almost always present in a Rolex. So much so that they have almost become signature to Rolex watches. These attributes include the maxi dial with circular and angular hour indices, Mercedes hands, and what I am specifically referring to for the purpose of this video is the blinginess, boldness, and the flashy attributes of Rolex that are almost always present in every watch. For example, the polished case sides and the bracelet side surfaces, the reflective crystal on the dial, and then very often a high contrast dial as we see in the sub and the GMT, which is often glossy and jet black in looks. In 2023, when Rolex released the first full metal Yachtmaster in 42 mils, it broke many norms for the brand. This was the first everyday watch by Rolex in titanium, and then on top of that, this was the first watch that parts ways with those blingy attributes I mentioned earlier. A watch from the brand that is so different that when you first time put it on your wrist, you question yourself, is it even a Rolex? This is not to say it isn't beautiful or groundbreaking. It's just to say it's different. And more often than not, different in a good way, especially when you spend some time with it on the wrist. Here we have a matte black dial that is anything but jet black like you see on the Submariner, and it almost looks like dark anthracite or dark grey in color. It is not too hard to appreciate how different the dial is here, especially when you put it side by side with the Submariner. The contrast, the glossiness, and the shade of black are all evident. The crystal on the new Yachtmaster also looks to be entirely glare-free, and from how I see it, it doesn't seem to reflect the light the same way as the Submariner or the GMT. That is, it doesn't have the same blinginess from the face. What's further unique here is how the case sides are also brushed, as opposed to every other Oyster Perpetual Rolex we see that comes with polished case sides. The watch case here further comes with a very fine beveling, which is also brushed to keep the looks consistent and subtle. This continues over to the sides of the bracelet links and the clasp, adding to the looks and unique character of this all-new Yachtmaster 42 in titanium. Being titanium also means that it wears lighter than stainless steel, and having worn the steel Submariners and GMTs with a weight of around 150 grams, when you put this titanium Rolex on the wrist, it very much looks like something but a Rolex. Again, not in a bad way. It's only 2/3 the usual size and weighs at only 103 grams, size to 6.5 inches wrist. It is so light and comfortable that when you put it on the wrist, after a few minutes, you almost forget that you even have a watch on the wrist. It is, however, big, and in terms of the dimensions, measured at the bezel, the watch is 42.3 mils in case size. The watch face or the dial is also bigger and comes at a reading of 32.2 mils. Consistent with the larger case size, the lug-to-lug here is 49.8 mils. But as my wristband is 54 mils, you can see that it doesn't flare out of my wrist. The watch is thin and measures at only 11.7 mils. With the only polished surfaces on the entire watch being the bezel rim, the bezel numerals, and the crown guards, this is arguably the most subtle Rolex and the one with the most matte finish that the brand has ever done. But then it comes with a 42mm case size to add that heftiness and wrist presence without adding all those in-your-face characters. It is light, extremely light, it's non-blingy, and it's subtle. And then being in titanium means it is also darker shade of the metal than stainless steel. So while very different, It opens up an entire new chapter and dimension for Rolex to offer something never offered before. Something very beautiful that equally fills the eyes and the wrist, but doesn't scream for attention. Something so Rolex, despite being the lightest, the darkest, and let me say it, the mattest. Probably this word doesn't exist, but neither did this watch before.